absolutely. Okay, you ready? All right, welcome, thank you so much. We already did a much longer version of the fracking presentation and what the mechanics are, and so this is just kind of be a quick recap and then highlight a few of the potential for some damages. So first of all, what is fracking is we're trying to get some resources from the ground. So the oil and natural gas that's trapped in the rock. And it's a lot more difficult to get to than traditional oil drilling. Methods will allow us to get to. So what you have to do is build your derrick here, drill way down deep, and then we go horizontal for a ways, and then shoot high pressured water in there to crack the rock. In addition to that water, we also have a little bit of a slurry that's unique to the fracking company. So there's slick water that has additives like the soap and detergents that allow the water to grip onto the oils better. We talked about non-polar covalent, polar covalent, and things like that. So we add some of that soap in there. And then we suck it all back out, up through here, and then dump it into this pit where it's stored temporarily. Then there's some refining and the opportunity to separate out some of the chemicals from the water and ship it in different directions. And then we have, of course, the waste transport and a very, very, very deep well here where the wastewater will get injected at the very end. So some potential cause for concern could potentially be, number one, the water quality. So we're typically traveling through an aquifer where residential areas are using that for well water. And so to be able to go through that, there's the potential for contamination. What kind of contaminants? We were talking about heavy metals, which cause toxicity in our bodies, and it's stored in the rocks deep down below. And so thinking about lead and mercury and things like that, barium. Some of the oil can get into the water, and then we also have things like arsenic, which are non-metals that are also poisonous to our bodies. So that's for water quality. We also have radioactive elements that are stored deep down in the rock. And so that has some potential that when we consume it, our bodies replace the elements that are supposed to be there with the radioactive elements, and then you get radiation poisoning. But you also, it's kind of like making the bricks that disappear. So we talk about the fluoride girls, and then things that happen with their teeth and things when they replace the calcium with radium. And this can cause things like lung cancer and thyroid cancer. We have earthquakes as a potential challenge, so anytime you're breaking rock underground, then there could be some earth shifting and potential for causing some damages through physical means there. And then the last one that I included on here was air pollution. So when we store things in the pit, we have a whole bunch of nonmetals that have a very low evaporation, a very high evaporation rate. And so it can quickly get into the air and be breathed and is noticeable or potentially noticeable by the people around the fracking sites. So chemicals like benzene, ethylbenzene, toluene, and hexane are all non-polar covalent compounds, and so they easily get into the air and can potentially affect the air that we breathe. So those are the basic mechanics of fracking, and then there are 4 potential major areas for cause for concern over health issues. And that is the end of my fracking presentation.